Welcome. Well, let's try that again. Welcome to the Manville Entertainment premises. Welcome to the podcasting wing. Welcome to the Authority Videocast YouTube channel, and welcome to Let's Talk. Excuse me. Now, I've been gone for a couple days, and you're probably been wondering, thank God, I needed a break from this guy. Well, I needed a break too, so I went to Cincinnati to visit a friend, meet up with another friend, and we actually caught a Cincinnati Reds Colorado Rockies game on Friday night. It was Pride Night at the park. I was happy to be an ally, happy to be there, happy to be a part of it all. And honestly, you guys, I think Great American Ballpark is now my seventh ballpark because I've been to Cleveland, I've been to Detroit, I've been to Cincinnati now. I've been to both Chicago's, I've been to PNC, and I've been to Nationals Park. I believe that's 7 teams. There were seven ballparks, rather. And honestly, Great American Ballpark, if I wasn't sure enough already, more than baseball, I have a deep affinity for the parks themselves. I think baseball parks are just absolutely the best. And honestly, other than PNC and Wrigley before the technology, I don't know. A Great American Ballpark, TV doesn't do it justice. Behind home plate, starting along the third baseline, the skyline of Cincinnati is actually, you can see the skyline. Like, we were sitting in left field, the skyline was right up next. Well, I guess I don't know how it works, but basically you saw a skyline behind the stadium. You had the water on the other side. It was way bigger than I was anticipating. All of the concessions and food are obviously like a lot of teams do. It's local to the area, but regardless, I don't know what I was expecting. I guess partially my expectations were so low. I just thought it was a boring, I don't know. But this thing was built in 2003, and it definitely has some staying power. Great American Ballpark, vastly underrated, one of the hidden gems in all of baseball. I had a blast. We were basically sitting in Souvenir City. There was I think the final of that game was 11-5. The Reds themselves, I think, hit 4 or 5 homers. The Rockies hit 1 or 2 home runs. It was an incredible game. Home runs galore. And I was just absolutely blown away. We parked right underneath. We walk right up. Boom. We're in downtown Cincinnati. The ballpark's right there. You walk right in. It's beautiful. It's beautiful from the outside, and it is just as beautiful, if not more so, from the inside. I just couldn't. It's big. That was probably one of the things I took away most was that I think it might be bigger than Progressive Field. I mean, it's big. So I can't rave enough about Great American Ballpark, my experience there. Yes, they gave me onions on my Coney dog, and I specifically asked them not to. But what are you going to do about it? I still got my Dippin' Dots. I was still fine. So catching up on some stuff that we've actually talked about previously on this channel. We've talked a lot about it. The Mariners. So the Mariners and Indians finished up their season series yesterday. Now after going to Seattle and dropping 3 of 4, the Indians were back at Jacobs Field to take on the Mariners in a 3-game series, and they took the first 2 games. So it was tied 3-3. It's the last game they'll meet this regular season. I sort of thought of it as a little mini in-season Game 7, if you will. Like I said, the season series was tied 3-3. And best of all, the Indians had Shane Bieber going. The Indians had their top guy going, and I guess the Mariners did too, and Yusei Kikuchi. I don't know if he was their opening day starter, but based on how much he makes, I would assume he was. So you have the 2 top guys theoretically going for both Seattle and Cleveland, and I was certain that Shane Bieber is going to mow down these Mariners. They don't have Jared Kelenic anymore. Yusei Kikuchi, 7 scoreless innings. Yusei Kikuchi has made me eat my words. I made a bonus clip for this channel where I sort of went in on Yusei Kikuchi, and all that may still be true, but I do have to give props. Yesterday, Yusei Kikuchi, 7 scoreless innings. Or no, I apologize. This was Saturday. Saturday was Yusei Kikuchi pitching the 7 innings of scoreless baseball, only for the Mariners to blow it and the Indians to come back, win the game. They took the series, that series. they won the first 2 games of 3-game series. They won that series. But for the season series that I was looking at, it tied at 3-3 going into Sunday. And the Indians, I don't know, they've been snake bitten by the fact that their starting rotation is very top heavy. Shane Bieber, Aaron Savali, and Zach Plesac, if he can come back, but they have massive holes on the back end of the rotation. And so in particular, Aaron Savali and Shane Bieber have been asked to go out, no questions asked, and they're going over 100 pitches each and every game. And Rick Manning was certain that the Mariners were just sitting curveball, because Shane Bieber would throw a fastball over for a strike, and then he's just trying to strike guys out, trying to throw curveball, and Mariners would just sit on the curveball. And yesterday, Kyle Seager, 0-2 count, sits on a curveball and just smashes it out of the park. You don't normally see that. 0-2 count. Shane Bieber's, has the complete advantage, goes to his strikeout pitch, and Kyle Seager sat on it and knocked it out of the park. Seattle's starting pitcher yesterday, his name is escaping me. I don't want to look him up and potentially screw up the stream for us, but the starting pitcher yesterday for the Mariners, I've talked about him too. He was a very highly touted prospect. He was definitely highly drafted. I'm not sure what his prospects were like, but very highly drafted. Along with Jared Kelenic, he was a top pick for the Mariners. And when the Indians, in his major league debut, the Indians, knocked him around a bit. But he remembered his debut, because he came out, and I really like this kid's form. He's very up and down. I was talking about pitchers yesterday with my buddy Al, who runs the fantasy league I'm in, and he was talking about the release point for certain pitchers. And with this kid, I mean, there's nothing to it. He's very up and down, straightforward with his delivery, but he has the potential to be a serious power pitcher in this league. I thought I'm not gonna say oh yeah, the Indians shelled him, so I thought he was gonna be good, but I didn't necessarily give up on the kid. It was his freaking MLB debut, and he didn't get slaughtered or anything. And yeah, he definitely remembered it. He came back and he pitched a great game yesterday. Shane Bieber, who's just been overworked, did not pitch a great game. Remember when I mentioned we'll see if JP Crawford stays hot? JP Crawford is in the zone, and I will actually give you guys my first bit of official fantasy advice. I'm throwing it out to you right now. JP Crawford is available in most leagues, at least on ESPN's crappy service, and go ahead and get you a JP Crawford. I've been saddled with the services of Francisco Lindor all season long, and Francisco Lindor is legitimately sagging behind JP Crawford's production. JP Crawford is producing at a much better rate. He's more consistent. He's not striking out. He draws some walks. JP Crawford is a great replacement player right now if you're looking to supplement your infield or your shortstop. Okay, of course, the Indians designate for assignment Jake Bauers last week because he sucks. He was in a first base platoon with Yu Chang, but they called up Bobby Bradley. Bobby Bradley's been on fire, thank God. But like I said, the pitching for the Indians, the starting pitching especially, it's just been so up and down. But Jake Bauers yesterday in the season series deciding game 7, if you will, Jake Bauers, we couldn't get him out. Where was this Jake Bauers where was he all of April and May? Now we're into June, and Jake Bauers is a freaking all-star. That's great. And then Mitch Haniger, who we made a video about. Mitch Haniger seemed to have left the game on Saturday after fouling a pitch off of himself. So we'll see. Moral of the story, the Mariners beat the Indians. They take the season series 4-3. Shane Bieber couldn't stop the bats. They were Jack Fraley, whatever his name is. I think that was the guy. I can't remember. Honestly, it was a very long weekend. I was in Cincinnati. I came back to stop in, watch the Indians take care of the Mariners on Sunday. Because Saturday, I had actually given up, and then they came back and won. Like I said, Yusei Kikuchi, 7 scoreless innings, but then the bullpen blew it for the Mariners. So I was like, oh my gosh, gotta watch Sunday, with the crazy finish to Saturday. Shane Bieber's on the mound, gotta watch, and boom, Shane Bieber just didn't quite have it yesterday. Moving on. Let's get to our senses. I haven't forgotten about these. I almost did with the long layoff, but so our audio sense, let's get stimulated with na na ... I believe it's na 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 na. You'll know it when you hear it. But it's by E40 featuring Nate Dogg. And speaking of which, I've actually linked our latest Manville Music's latest song in this video. So when the video, once the stream ends and the video converts itself or whatever, in the description, or maybe you can see it right now, I've linked our newest video, or yeah, right, our newest song. So go check that out if you haven't. We're all aspiring, starving artists out here, and I spent a little time on that, and it was a lot of fun making that, and I do it for y'all. So, but nah is just the song you need to. If your day is just starting, it'll start your day. If your day is hit a lull, it'll get you going. And if your day's over, oh, it's the perfect way to end your day. It just makes you feel so good. It warms your heart. And you get to laugh at E40. I got a baby by me. She got a baby by you. Or whatever he says. Like, oh my gosh. E40. It's funny, but it's also like, it's genuinely really good. So, visually speaking, now this is the big one. I was just reading up on this before going live, and you guys really, really, listen to the E40 featuring Nate Dogg song, nah, if you want to. But this I almost demand of my audience. Go out. Deadspin was dead. Speaking of dead, Deadspin was dead as far as I knew. Like, they ceased operations, their parent company. It's all crazy how it works out, but basically their parent company told them to stop being political in their sports coverage, and all of their sports writers said screw that. So Deadspin lay dormant for a while, but it seems they're back. I'm not sure, the content hasn't changed. I've clicked on the first story in months and months, and it's the Deadspin we remember. They're as sassy as ever, but they're I don't know. Nothing against Detroit, nothing against Barstool, but I've always been a Deadspin guy personally. So it's the top story right now. Man, do the Cubs need to shut up? Go look that up. Man, do the Cubs need to shut up? I didn't grab the author's name. I should have. You will when you read it. But man, do the Cubs need to shut up? Go on Deadspin. It's a top story. I've talked about Anthony Rizzo on this channel before too, and I failed to mention that he was a cancer survivor. Like, Anthony Rizzo is a great guy, but it seems like the Cubs apparently are not going to be reaching the threshold for vaccinations this year. Like, you'll see Joe Madden wearing a mask the entire season, and it's because the management doesn't believe that they're going to reach the threshold. I guess because there's just not enough Cubs in the clubhouse that are willing to get vaccinated. And you guys know how I feel about this. Now, we saw with the New York Yankees, we specifically haven't covered that on this channel, but you guys may have seen with the Yankees, they got the J&J, and still ended up the virus ended up passing around their clubhouse. I guess for me, it's just like better to be safe than sorry. And I don't know. The article is amazing because the article points out how, Anthony Rizzo could have said this, a sound argument as to why he doesn't want to get vaccinated, because, he is a cancer survivor. There could be complications involving that, but he just said something about his family. And it was, I don't know, I guess it's sort of perceived as a lame excuse. And then Jason Hayward doubled down on it. And again, the writer, he's really good. He's saying how, Jason Hayward could have pointed to a specific thing. And, he's a black man from the South. He could have pointed to these specific things that we could have accepted as reasonable explanations why he wasn't going to get the vaccination. But instead, Jason Hayward just sort of put his foot in his mouth, from what I'm gathering. So go look up that article. Man, do the Cubs need to shut up, on Deadspin. It'll be your visual stimulation. Maybe have the E40 song going on while you listen to it. And then just a couple more things to wrap up on. I don't know if you guys know, you probably do by now, but I'm a big wrestling fan. And in recent times, I'm also a big UFC fan. So there's a huge UFC card over the weekend. Izzy Adesanya, he got his win back. Not got his win back, but he's back on the winning ways after challenging Jan Blachowicz, the light heavyweight champion, in an attempt to become a double champ, which is historic, but it has historical meaning to it. But guys have done it, and girls too, Amanda Nunes, have done it, and it just didn't seem. I don't know. I looking back on it, I'd figured out maybe he beats Jan Blachowicz because that way he can turn around and challenge John Jones. I'm not mad at Israel Adesanya. Like, if that was his plan to get the light heavyweight title off Jan Blachowicz, to try and force John Jones to fight him, to draw a big pay-per-view, to really got to give the people what they want. And that's exactly what Israel Adesanya was going to do. That's what he planned to do. He was trying to give the people what they wanted. And he just failed in doing so, which stinks, you know. But he's back on the winning ways. Nate Diaz returned in a loss. And yet I was reading something on ESPN how he won the night, how, he basically, he did a number, and he does what Nate Diaz does best. He took a beating, and then in the very end, he had Leon Edwards. People thought he might actually come back and clip Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards has won like 10 straight fights. Leon Edwards is due for a title fight, and yet Leon Edwards in his prime, like this guy is really, really, really good. And yet Nate Diaz, who's 36 years old, Nate Diaz damn near comes back, and he put it. He from what I've been led to believe, he definitely put a scare into the fighter he was fighting, and then lo and behold, the fans are all back on Nate Diaz again. The fans absolutely love Nate Diaz. They love Nick Diaz. They want to see him back as well, but they love Nate Diaz. And even though he lost a fight against Leon Edwards, and I don't know why I just completely spaced his name out just 30 seconds ago. But yeah, Nate Diaz, the fans love him. And it's so funny because to me, Nate Diaz is the realest of the real. And, Conor McGregor, he's pretty real too, right? Like, he knocked out Jose Aldo. But after that, every big fight that Conor McGregor's ever been in, no offense, but he's lost. So, and then the other big thing from the UFC card, Davison Figueiredo. And I'm sorry, that is one name I'm probably butchering. Davison Figueiredo, I believe. Davison Figueiredo lost his rematch. Now, Davison Figueiredo, or however you pronounce it, was basically unstoppable in the flyweight division, the 125 division, the lightest division in UFC. Unstoppable. And he goes up, he beats the champion, just murders the champion, and he looks like, he's so good, they're saying he should move up to bantamweight to 135. Well, then he has a fight with Brandon Moreno that goes the distance, and it's like, well, maybe we just give Brandon Moreno a shot and, try to strengthen, try to liven up this flyweight division. I mean, why have it? Why have the flyweight division if every time you get a dominant champ, he's just going to move up the division? You got to solidify your divisions here. And Figueiredo at 125 has been a beast up until he fought Brandon Moreno. And lo and behold, in their rematch, Brandon Moreno actually won. So huge upset there. New 125-pound champ. There's a new flyweight champ, Brandon Moreno. Put some respect on his name. I just thought it was really interesting. It was a really, a lot of times they really, really hype up these UFC cards, and there's not a lot to talk about, honestly. Like, it's just either it's chalk, like, whoever's expected to win wins, or, it's just like, I'm just not usually that interested. But there was three finishes that I really was interested in. And, and before Saturday, I'd watched Izzy's first fight with his opponent. I'd watched the first Figueiredo Moreno fight. I can't remember Izzy's opponent's name, and I just didn't want to butcher it. But yeah, just a really good, really noteworthy UFC card for real. Like, not even like bull crap. Not ESPN's bull crap where they just tell you it's a big deal because they've given them $500 million. And so now anything that is UFC is a big deal. It's not. But this, I promise you, this was a big deal. Finally, ending on some hockey news. The Islanders on Long Island. The Islanders, they took game 1 of the Stanley Cup semifinal, which, again, like ever since COVID, that's not what it's normally called. It's not normally called the Stanley Cup semifinal. Like, right? Like, there's like conferences and stuff, but it's been so crazy. My friend Jerry was telling me how like Canada had its own playoff and all that. So in the one semifinal, we get the heart, and I mean the beating heartland of hockey, Tampa Bay, versus the Long Island Islanders, the Islanders of Long Island. And obviously Tampa Bay, it's so weird. Tampa Bay has like multiple Stanley Cups. What is that? And I know the Islanders had a dominant stretch there at one point, I believe in the the late 70s or early 80s? They were before the Edmonton Oilers string of Stanley Cups. But yeah, who doesn't want to see the Islanders win? I mean, come on. So Islanders won game 1. And, we're 3 wins away from a Stanley Cup potentially occurring on Long Island. I don't know why that's funny. I just do. Alrighty. I love you guys so much. Appreciate you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you for letting me enjoy a little bit of a layoff. I needed it. And I think I delivered a good show today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do I suck? Do I not suck? Do I need to shave? Because guess what? I'm shaving anyway. I think I got a job interview tomorrow, so I'm shaving anyway. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment at Authority Videocast on Facebook. If you haven't already, go and like that. Like I said, link to our new song in the description. Make sure you guys have a blessed rest of your day, and don't be the Cubs. If you haven't already, please go get vaccinated. And yeah, that's all I have to say for today. See you guys.